This is Redefine Possible. And today we are having two guests from Donda's House, two Donda House artist guests, who participated in the 2016 Got Bars program and the 2017 Bridges to the Blues. Redefine Possible is brought to you by Aarp, Chicago Sky, and Donda's House. I am your host, Loretta Dodgen. First, please welcome our guest, Dfflictim. All right, did I say that right?
Yes, yes.
All right. Artist and producer from the South Side of Chicago who participated in the 2016 Got Bars program by Donda's House. He has taken his talents of playing guitar, bass, and keyboard and incorporated it into his own unique style. So, first I want to know, where did your name come from?
It actually came from a song I liked when I was younger, but through that song I kind of developed a deep feeling out of it, and I added a twist to it with my name.
Okay.
And decided to make it something meaningful opposed to the actual meaning of it.
Okay, so what is the meaning?
Like the meaning of my name? Or
Yeah.
My name is just to create from a real place, because I feel like that's what that song did, despite the extra stuff it was made with.
Okay, so create from a real place. So tell me a little bit about your thought process as an artist.
As an artist, I feel like I have to be in like a physical and clear mental space to even create. Otherwise, it's not going to go well.
Okay. And how do you get into this clear mental space? How does that work?
I like a lot of solitude and silence.
A lot of solitude and silence?
Yeah, it seems to clear my mind like the most. Any other distractions, it might not help, but normally on my commute, that might help me clear my mind too.
Okay.
Just back and forth between South and downtown.
Okay. Okay, so when did you start writing and producing?
I started writing like real young. I want to say like around 7 or 8, but I started producing in 2013, like right after high school.
Right after high school. So when did you start into the Donda's House program, in 2016?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the Got Bars program.
It's a program for rappers, poets, and singers just to help them elevate their skill in writing and performing live.
Okay, so how did the program assist you on your artistic journey?
It helped me be more collaborative, like take criticism more. It just
Okay.
helped me be more open to just doing things with other people. Because I was a real, because I do everything almost on my own. I learned from my dad, but I never really worked with people like that.
Okay, so that was a difficult transition for you?
Yeah, slightly.
Okay, what was the process for like getting into the program?
Oh, there was actually an audition in one of the Columbia buildings.
Oh, it was a live audition?
Yes, you had to perform one of your songs, and
Okay.
then you just got accepted from there via email.
Okay, and what were some of the favorite exercises or different things that you did within this program?
Just like weekly, we had like a homework assignment to do like once we had to do a poem that had an analogy to it that represented your life or something you were going through. That was fun. And then we had another one where you had to emulate an artist that either Rhyme Fest or Donnie gave you.
Oh, so they gave you the artist, and you
Yeah.
had to. Who was your artist?
Mine was Preach from not Naughty by Nature. Preach from Arrested Development.
Okay, and how do you emulate them? Do you mean like in
Lyrically, vocally. You have to do one of their songs versus
Okay.
one of their songs.
Did you get to change up the words, or the words were?
Nah, you got to do it exactly.
How difficult was that?
It was super difficult because I had to play the song like 20 times a day.
Okay. Was it a song that you already knew or an artist that you knew?
I did know it, but I never knew the lyrics. It would be like one of those songs I was always here, but I never really paid attention to the lyrics.
Okay. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to call in. The number is 312-738-1060, and this is Redefine Possible. What are some of the creative ways you think artists can form their own unique style to build a fan base?
I feel like they should live life from the perspective as a fan. Like just to get an outside view to see like what works and what doesn't work, just so they can know what's the right thing to do or what's an experimental thing to do that might pull people towards your style.
Okay. Can you elaborate a little bit more? So let's say there's a lot of different fans, right? There's R&B, there's hip hop, there's rock. Like, how do you figure out your comfort in terms and relations to your fans? Or the fan base that you're trying to create, right? If you don't have any fans, you're trying to create fan base. So how do you do that?
I feel like see what they do like live on stage, their social media pages, like what are they promoting to like pull them towards them and like what makes them feel comfortable, and then you ultimately draw it back to you and what makes you feel comfortable, and you try to like formulate something for yourself so you don't feel like you're trying to be the other person.
Okay.
I guess I feel like you take in everything so you form your own state of mind through everything else.
Okay. Okay. So what other works have you done with Donda's House outside of the Got Bars program? Have you done anything else?
Not really.
Okay.
I've done the audition for one the local festivals.
Okay.
That's been it so far.
Okay. Okay. How long is this Got Bars program?
This one is normally longer, but the one I did was like 5 or 6 weeks.
Okay. And at the end of the program,
There's a final performance, and you become a Donda's House alumni after that, and you have access to the events they throw.
Okay. So once you become a Donda's House alumni, you get access to all events and like programs. What does access mean? Like you get to attend them, or you get to be a part of them, or you get to audition?
Yes, all of that.
Oh, all of the above.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty nice alumni package, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
More than you can think of.
Okay. So where can we get some additional information on your latest work?
I would say my Instagram or my SoundCloud, or you can just Google my name.
Okay, so what's your handles?
Handles just Dfflictim everywhere. Dfflictim.
And you can be found on Instagram.
Yes.
And Facebook, Snapchat.
Yes.
All of those different
Call
things.
my name early before they were like pseudo accounts.
Okay. Okay, that's nice. What advice would you give out to any of the new artists that are coming out that want to start creating a fan base or having, a new showing? What advice would you give them based on your experience?
Just be themselves. Like, live life. Try to be you no matter what. Like, whatever you go through, whatever you got to deal with on a daily, just try to stick to you.
Okay, that's great advice. I see we have a caller. Caller, do you have a question?
Hi, I have a quick question. My question is, what do you think you've gained from Donda House that you couldn't learn anywhere else? It sounds like a great program, and I'm trying to understand the benefits. It sounds like they offer you a lot. What did you learn there that you couldn't learn anywhere else?
That's a great question. So what did you learn that you
I gained an in-depth view of like how the industry works and the type of people you come across, because that's something you won't be able to pick up on the street. Like, we had professionals come in, like we had Malik Yusuf come in who wrote for Beyonce and like writes for artists like Wiz Khalifa and stuff, and he gave us an insight of like the process and all that and what he'd been through and how he got there. Like, it was a real great view.
Wow, that's pretty awesome that you had such great talent and artists come down and speak to you.
I was very appreciative of that.
Okay, so he did an entire session for your group?
Yes, it was almost like a private TED Talk.
Oh, wow. That's really nice. What other artist?
That was the only one, but there are more coming up that we will be able to get. But he was the first one so far.
Okay. All right. Are there any other additional comments or last comments that you'd like to provide to the audience?
No.
No? Well, thank you so much for coming on our show. We greatly appreciate you being here. AARP is hosting today. I'm bringing up our website so that we could do a quick change of our audience members. If you have any questions about AARP, please go to www.aarp.org. And now we have our second guest here, who is another Donda's House alumni. And we would like to welcome Jesse Charbonnet. Did I say your name correctly?
You did, Jesse Charbonnet.
All right.
Yes.
Who recently auditioned and performed for the Bridges to the Blues program here in Chicago, which was a joint partnership with AARP and Donda's House. Tell us a little bit about the program.
Well, what I loved about the program is it brought in people from different backgrounds, different age groups, and different economic places. So what was wonderful is that it brought everybody together, and so Donda's house basically selected people to be a part of this group. So many groups were formed, but nobody really knew each other.
Oh, okay. So they were all unique
exactly.
groups that were made.
Exactly. We had no input in the selection of who we were going to be performing with. So that was an interesting concept.
Okay, interesting is a nice word. So how did you feel when you found out that you would be placed with a group of people that you've never met to create a band that had to perform in literally, what was it, 4 weeks?
In 4 weeks. Not only did we have to perform, but we had to compose and write an original song.
Okay.
We also had to go into the studio and record the song. And of course, you can't just go in and record, you have to have auditions.
Right.
So within a 4-week period, I knew right away, because I had done recordings before, that it was going to be a challenge. So when you have different people that you're just not aware of, or you've never had any experience with, right away you know it's going to be challenging. But of course, a interesting concept, because I think the whole purpose is to see how different people not knowing each other, of different backgrounds, could possibly make it happen.
Okay, so when you say different backgrounds, do you mean like different ages? Do you mean different
ages,
genres?
different genres, different backgrounds, socioeconomic, completely.
Okay.
And I'm an AARP member, and I found out about this program through somebody that works with AARP. And so then what they do is you have to submit an application or an audition, and then you're selected. And so then everyone met together, and then at this particular place, it was determined who was going to be working with who.
Oh, okay.
So, and I think they did it well, because they examined all of the artist qualifications, and then determined, for instance, you don't want 2 drummers in the same band.
Right.
So there might be a drummer, there might be a lead guitarist, there might be a vocalist, there might be a keyboardist, or a horn player.
Okay.
And so they brought all of these together. But still, it's challenging.
Okay, so that was going to be my question, challenge.
Yeah.
So you mentioned challenging. I would imagine, since you have so many different people with different genres coming together to create the blues,
Right.
what were some of the challenges that you faced?
Well, one of the challenges musically is we had to honor the blues, but we also had to give it a different twist,
Okay.
And of course, with Rhymefest there, being as accomplished as he is, and giving us a little bit of insight on what they were looking for, made it a lot easier. But still, you're working with different people, and everybody has different work ethics or different work experience. So one of the challenges, of course, when you're trying to have a writing session or a rehearsal session,
Okay.
and you have 6 or 7 people, and you're trying to organize it so that we can schedule something where we're all available. That's very, very challenging.
Yes, that is challenging.
Yeah. It's challenging to begin with, even in a corporate level.
Right.
It's very, very challenging. But when you're working with people that you absolutely have
You don't
no
know.
idea of their background or how they work, do they answer emails right away? Do they prefer text message? Do they prefer other means of communication?
Right.
And so,
And you're truncating that into a very short amount of time.
Very right. So time is of the essence, and you get to learn a lot, from those that perhaps, have a very rigid way of working, and then those that are more relaxed.
Okay. So I know I have a lot more questions, but maybe you do too. So if you have any questions, please call in at 312-738-1060. So I know you were telling me a little bit about your experiences with the program. What was the format? So how did that work? I know you said that you all auditioned, and then what was the next steps?
So there was the additional submission, and then there was that meeting where we all came together and met each other. So we were assigned. So Jesse and John and Victor and Adrian, you're all together.
Okay.
And then, of course, there were many other bands as well. So
Okay.
there's that immediate getting to know each other right away.
Right.
And then also trying to figure out what is your talent. What is your expertise? Are you a drummer? Are you a lead guitarist? Are you a rhythm guitarist? Are you a keyboardist? And then basically figuring it out. Who's a vocalist?
Right.
Do we have a rapper? Do we have a singer? you know, because we definitely want everyone to participate.
Right.
So the challenge is
how to get these different
how
people.
to get everybody, exactly, and also give everyone an opportunity to shine.
Okay.
Because, you know, you do have some that feel they should be up in the forefront more than others.
Right.
You know, and some are more willing and comfortable in just being in the
Stepping
background.
back.
Exactly.
Okay. So you created a group and then you had a showcase, correct? And a showcase.
We created a group, and then we had to schedule, we had to write the song.
Right.
So, and the writing song had to take place within a short period of time, and so that same day I went home and started working on, you know, because I'm a vocalist myself and a songwriter, so I had to work on right away some kind of melody line, so that way we can just build from there.
What was your melody line?
You want me to sing it for
Yes.
you? No.
You said you're a singer. So why not put you on the spot?
Do I even remember? No, I'm kidding. No.
Yes, you
So
do.
do you want me to sing it right now?
Yes.
Okay. So it goes, lately I've been singing the blues, and lately I don't know what to do. You see, I'm feeling oh so sad, and it's got me going mad.
Thank you for that and blessing us with that. I didn't think you were going to do it.
I didn't warm up, you know, that's important for
I
a
didn't think you were
vocalist.
going to do it. Okay, so we're going to speed up a little bit, and
Yeah.
I know you all did a showcase, and it was, 7 bands had a showcase.
Right.
And from the showcase, you were told that only a few people were going to be picked, right?
Exactly. So the band, after they had their audition, after they wrote the song, after they rehearsed it, after they were in the studio, then we were expected to perform it live at the Chicago Cultural Center.
Okay.
And then one band was going to be selected to perform at the Chicago Blues Festival.
Okay.
So everyone performed, and everyone performed very, very well. It was very diverse, and it touched on different genres. You know, my song had jazz, it had kind of heavy metal element, and also hip hop and blues, of course.
Okay.
And then others had more of R&B, you know, and some of them had a mixture of different things. And so, then different prizes were awarded, and then at the end we found out that we were all going to be performing.
Oh, you had a twister. Oh,
Yeah,
I see we have a caller. Caller, do you have a question?
Yeah, can you tell me about your songwriting process? Do you prefer
Sure.
pop, R&B, folk? Tell me about the process of writing songs for the program.
Okay, well, I'm a jazz vocalist, and so my influences are, you know, 30s and 40s. I like the songs of, you know, the songs that perhaps Billie Holiday sang, or Nat King Cole, or Chet Baker, and so my songwriting tends to be that genre. When I write a song, I think, is this something that Billie Holiday or somebody like a Chet Baker, you know, or Ella Fitzgerald, or even a more contemporary Johnny Mathis would want to sing. And I rarely sit down and say, I'm going to write a song. It just kind of just comes to me. And of course with our phones, we can literally take note or hum it, as I did with the song that we did at the Blues Festival. I literally just hummed it, and I came up with the first line, and then after that, let it sit for a while, and then the other words and verses came to me.
Okay. So I know you had to perform on the showcase, and you also had to perform on the Mississippi Juke Joint stage, which was at the Blues
Right.
Festival.
Right.
Did you have a lot of anxiety going into that?
Well, I personally did not have any
Okay.
anxiety, but the anxiety
members
was, the anxiety was, is everybody going to get there on time?
Oh, okay. Getting everybody together on
Yeah,
time.
again, you have different personalities, and if you have an individual like myself that likes to get there early, just to kind of feel the place and get whatever nervousness out of your system, and then you have other people that literally come in at the last minute, it's very challenging. It creates a lot of stress because
you were the first group too.
we were the first group, right.
Right.
So the challenge was getting everybody there, making sure everybody's there, and, you know, thank goodness for, you know, cell phones. We can say, where are you? You know, we need you here. But then, of course, because the way of the structure of the Blues Festival, as is the case of most of these festivals, one group ends and then another one comes
Jumps
in.
back on,
right.
yeah.
But then they're performing for 40 minutes, whereas all of the ones that participated in the Bridges to the Blues, there were 7 of us, and we all had to perform within like a 40 minutes. So it's literally jump in, perform, get out. There was a DJ played a little bit, and then everyone else had to plug in the next band, and then they performed, and then they had to leave one song, and then the DJ, and then so you know that's a bit challenging because of course in an ideal situation you should have a lot more time to do sound check, to make sure the vocalists are heard, the guitarists are heard, whatever EQing has to happen is done, but still it worked out well. We were pleased, and it was a packed house.
Okay. So what advice do you have for people interested in expanding their artistry into performing live?
Well, I would say find whatever opportunity you can to perform. I started very late in life.
What does that mean?
I started performing when I turned 50.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we have a program in AARP called
really?
Yes, Redefine Possible. And,
really?
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like that's what you did. You redefined your possibility. You know.
I did.
You went after your passion.
Yeah. When I turned 50, I said, you know, I just want to do from now on what I enjoy doing, and I've always felt that I could sing. And you just don't, you know, all of a sudden know how to sing. It's something that you've always known, but you really didn't do, and so I thought to myself, I'm just going to do this. So a friend wrote a melody line, I wrote the lyrics, we wrote the song, recorded it in LA, made the music video here in Chicago and released it, and then I had a debut of my live performance, and then I got booked at the Drake Hotel and I performed there for 5 years straight.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm working on my album, which I hope to include that song that we did at the Chicago Blues Festival, and directing a film right now that has another song of one of my recordings in it.
Okay, so it sounds like you're
never too late.
Pretty busy after 50, which is really, really amazing.
Yes.
And I know this program is supposed to be really like a mentoring program. So what type of mentoring opportunities did you find, or that were organic, or that you created? Well,
what was wonderful is a couple of the band members literally approached me and said that they would like me to be. One of them said that he would like me to be his mentor, and another said that he would like to, when he's finished with his songwriting, to get my advice on some of his material. And I said I would gladly do it. You know, and again, you know, the recording experience was wonderful because everyone had an opportunity to record. Many of them never recorded in a studio before. I mean, I have. But many have not. So it's like a dream. And we all said, if only this is all we could do all of our lives is record and perform. But I'm a testament to the fact that, you know, you do have to work and take care of your day-to-day stuff and get the cash flow, and then but still perform as much and as often as you can.
Well, I would definitely like to thank you for coming. I would like to thank Dfflictim for coming and providing us with such an amazing show, and your artistry, both of your artistries. I'd like to thank
you for inviting
Donda's House, AARP, and Chicago Sky for the show Redefine Possible. Until next time.